And we're live. Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing all right. Could be better, but that's life. Sorry for the late start today. Real life and all that couldn't be avoided. I think I'm going to change the time to something later because I realized that 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time in America, and most of the watchers are in the United States. Probably a little early. I know the majority of the people that watch after the fact, but it is supposed to be a call-in show, so I guess that's probably too early. I mean, even if you go way out to the West Coast, it's still pretty early. Most people are getting ready for work or they're already at work. So I think I'm going to change the time to like 10 to 11 a.m. New York City time, and that way, you know, maybe some people will be starting their lunch break if you go a little further west, or be actually on their lunch break. So maybe we'll get more callers, and certainly more people who might be working at home or have their businesses at home will have a greater opportunity, a better chance for calling in than if, you know, it's 7, 8 o'clock and they're not even out of bed yet. So yeah, next show will be 10 to 11. We'll give that a try, see if we get some more callers. Also, the way the call-in works now, once I'm done reading a story, I'll open up the Skype and ask you guys for your opinion, and I'll leave it open for a minute or so, maybe a little longer, and during that window you can call in and give me your opinion and your thoughts on the story that I just reviewed. So the first thing I want to review today is something funny. Some funny stuff, baby. Women who choose not to shave their armpits. Armpits are featured in a stunning black and white photo series celebrating women beauty and how beautiful body hair can be. Oh, boy. Okay, now, yeah, body hair can be beautiful, right? If it's on, like, the head, okay? And there's been this, you know, hipster, doofus, metrosexual trend for some soy boy guys, but who can still actually grow facial hair, to grow nice, big, poofy beards, and they put all these organic fucking oils in it. Now, I saw this heated comb the other day, and I swear to God, if I grow a beard, I look like Grizzly fucking Adams. I mean, I grow a great, big, fucking, thick, lustrous beard, but it itches to hell. And the fucking skin on my face gets so itchy and dry and cracks around the chin. It's like, I'm constantly fucking scratching. Can't do it. But I saw this fucking heated comb that said that it cures that problem and it straightens the beard hairs and everything. And you could see steam coming off it, and they're fucking combing the beard and it's straightening out, like ironing your face. I don't think I'm going to go to that extent for facial hair. But yeah, hair on the head. You know, women can get some good hairstyles. Men can, you know, trim the beard and straighten the beard, whatever. I think that's a little too much work put into it. I'm pretty low maintenance myself. But armpit hair? That's not beautiful, even on a man. I mean, a man, he just comes with hair. You know, you accept that. It's not a problem. Women don't really have a problem with hair on a man, okay? Because we're men. We're butch, we're burly. Granted, there's some lesbos that want to be butch, and they try to be butch, but they're still women, okay? It's not attractive. It's not attractive. So Ben Hopper, 37, from London, captured pictures of dozens of hairy women. His project entitled Natural Beauty. Lots of things are natural, okay? You know, lions ripping out the fucking throats of a gazelle is natural, but I don't think that's beautiful. I don't want to see that, okay? And if at all possible, get it as far away from me as possible. I know it's a necessity for those animals to survive, but just because something's natural doesn't mean it's beautiful. I know that childbirth is natural, but I don't want to see it, okay? I'll leave that to the fucking doctor that went to school for 8 years and spent 4 in residency. Let him see it. I don't want to see that. I don't want to have that memory burned into my fucking retinas for the whole fucking time. Natural beauty champions the natural look on women. He believes women don't need to conform to society's expectations of hair removal. Yeah, but why do we expect that? Why do those expectations exist? Do you think We're just randomly, arbitrarily grabbing expectations out of the air. Oh, this is good. This is bad. I have no reason for choosing these things I like or don't like, prefer or don't prefer. I'm not just being random as hell. No, there's a reason for these things. There's a biological basis for this. We don't like hair on a woman except on her head and maybe on her poon, okay? Which I don't mind, to be honest. But some guys like it smooth. I don't know, whatever. They wanted to shave down there. But I don't mind that. But the armpits, no. We don't like that. We men just don't like that, okay? We don't. The only social engineering going on is you people trying to change what men like. But the basis for that like is objective. It's based in biology. So you're not going to change it through any amount of conditioning. It's like trying to make guys be into fatties, okay? Okay, so these striking images, most of them taken between 2016 and 2018, prove that women don't need to conform to society's expectations of hair removal to be attractive. I think this is just laziness. By the way, I'm going to show a series of pictures. I'm going to show the photo line of all the babes he took pictures of, and you can judge for yourself. I don't think their armpit hair makes them more attractive. Less attractive, certainly. Hopper's project champions the natural look on women and challenges the modern-day ideals of beauty. Where do these ideals... They're not ideals. This is interesting. Oh, it's just an ideal. It's just made up. Off the cuff. Under the say, yeah, right. Ideals, my ass. He's doing this by showcasing a series of gorgeous women. They're not all gorgeous, okay? Some of them are okay looking, but gorgeous... Okay, a series of gorgeous women proudly bearing armpit hair. He said, I like natural beauty on a woman. I think it can be very beautiful. And under the circumstances, empowering and sexy. You got a fetish. You got a kink. You like one of those chubby chasers. All right, that's what you're into. But that's an outlier. You do realize you're not the norm. So he goes on to say, you need an attitude to be a female with hairy armpits nowadays. Why do I want a woman with attitude? Why do I want some woman who is going to act like a man and be all challenging to me? And I'm all that in a bag of chips. Give you the fucking finger snap to boot. I don't want that. Anyone who is willing to take crap from a lot of people for it is, to me, an attractive, strong, confident person. Strong because they have fucking armpit hair? I don't find waxing or shaving that sexy most of the time. That's you! Most people now can't even stand the look of hairy female armpits. Now that is, and he goes on to say, from the reading I've done about the subject, I learned that women's societal pressure to shave has to do with beauty brands such as Gillette, who needed to extend their razors clientele and created one for a woman about a century ago. Oh yeah, because we always liked armpit hair on women. We were never going down on some broad and her face, slipped into under her arm, and we were back then saying, ooh, this is so sexy. No, we weren't going, oh, that's not a good smell. Because the purpose of hair here and down below is to capture and hold musk, okay? You ever wondered why that nasty, stanky smell only exists in your pits and down in your groin, and it returns very quickly after you can friggin' shampoo your pits all you want, and then after the shower, ooh, it's back. You gotta do it again. And, it's back 10 minutes later because you have glands down there that secrete a musk, okay? But the further we've moved from our animal origins, the less attractive that musk is to us, until now it's reached a point where it's just disgusting to us. So the pits, and that stink. Women don't like that on women, okay? It's really just that simple. Really just that simple. I don't want to say that I want women to start growing their armpit hair. Yeah, you do. You freak. I just think it's a possibility and people shouldn't dismiss it. I'd like people to just question the whole thing. Yeah, you like people to question everything so you can undermine what's traditional and normal and replace it with the new normal of perversion and sicko shit. Okay. All right. This body hair on women has been stigmatized. So by creating a contrast between common, fashionable female beauty, and the raw, unconventional look of female armpit in these photos, Hopper aims to create a discussion. Yeah, except you don't want a discussion. You're a bunch of feminist cunts just running around saying, this is normal and attractive, and if you have a problem with it, you're a misogynist asshole who needs to die. I don't hear much discussion. Not much discussion at all. All right, let's take a look at these broads. All right, and see what the hell this guy's talking about how this can be fucking attractive. All right, number one. She ain't a bad-looking broad. Okay, so, that's two broads. All right, that's two broads. The one on the left is very attractive. The one on the right, that's too much. They're both too much, really. I don't find that attractive. The one on the left is hot, so she's very attractive enough to shift my attention away from the pits. So, the pits don't add anything. They're a detractor, but I wouldn't even probably realize that the hair was there because she's so hot. So, but the one on the right, yeah. You're not attractive enough to pull that look off, honey. Get the razor out and shave that shit off. Disgusting. Disgusting. Number two. Okay. Next. What is that, a bustier? What is that? What the fuck is that? Some kind of, as a girdle? It's a Victorian girdle? Let me know if you guys can see these pictures. I don't have the window opened up to, I think you can see them. This is a test flight. Okay, this is me testing this this tech out. Okay, so this is the first time I'm introducing pictures here. Yowza, she's ugly. She's an ugly broad. I wouldn't be with her, pits or no. What are you talking about? I don't know who thinks these old fucking 19th century girdles are attractive. You know what I think when I see you're wearing one of those? You must be one fat broad that you have to wear a fucking girdle. No, thank you. Chunky. Well, she got a nice body. It's very thin. I like that I can see the muscles flowing down from her, abdomen into her hips. But what is that? What is that? Like, does she have leg hair too? The problem with some of these broads, they don't even want to shave their fucking legs. Hey, ladies, we guys have to shave our faces, Why don't you try shaving your face? It's actually much easier to shave the legs. It's just this big surface, it's rounded somewhat, but it's very easy to shave the legs compared to the face. The face is a pain in the ass. You get all these nooks and crannies and jawline. If you get a fucking razor cut, you can wear a dress or pants or something like that. Can't fucking put on a fucking mask, like the Man in the Iron Mask, that horrible fucking movie with, what was it, the Three Musketeers, and then the guy in the Iron Mask, played by, I forget. Anyway, but she got a nose ring. That ruins it all. She's not a bad-looking broad, but nose ring. And she's got tattoos. She got fucking tattoos. What is it with you ladies and tattoos? Why do you feel this need? I mean, granted, broads with tattoos are usually easier to bang because they have so little self-esteem. They don't think they have much worth. They don't think they have much going for them. What can I do to make myself stand out? Because there's nothing to me. There's just nothing there. So I need something to make me pop. Well, how about a good personality? How about that? How about virtues? How about doing a little studying and, reading up on what virtues are? And do I have this? Do I have that? What can I do to develop this virtue more, that virtue more? This looks good. How about it? Self-improvement. No, I need a tattoo. Stupid broads. Yeah, a tattoo is really going to help. Yeah. Don't improve yourself. Just get some fucking ink that's going to be there forever. She'll be 90 years old, and that's going to be fucking hanging down, wrinkly, won't be able to read it. God. Next. Ooh. Is she bangable? Very bangable. That's a good-looking broad. She got a great body. Damn. Now, she didn't have very much armpit hair, so I could get into that. But then it looks like she's got hair on the legs. I think this is just an excuse to be lazy. I really think that's the case. All this ideological mumbo-jumbo about being beautiful just the way you are, I think it's just because these broads are lazy. I think that's all it is. Is the lack of testosterone something that makes them that fucking lazy and low energy that I can't be bothered to shave ever? Jesus Christ. By the way, you don't have to shave your legs once a day. You can shave your legs as a lady once a week, but a guy, I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't, shave every day either. But I'm in a very unique situation. But good Lord, you ladies are such lazy. God. All right, next. Ooh, she's like a dancer or something. Again, very attractive, but look at the calves. What is the calves? She's got all this fucking hair on her calves. Look at that. Hairy legs? I know you got hair on your legs, ladies, naturally. Doesn't mean it's a good look. I got nose hair, too. Why don't I just let that grow out? I can walk around with these fucking hair coming out of my nose to the point where it's bundling up under my fucking eyes as it curls into these curly fry looking things. Oh yeah, that would be real attractive. It'd be hideous, but it's natural. I shouldn't have to shave it. I shouldn't have to cut it off. I shouldn't have to get into my fucking nostrils with little fucking scissors because, it's natural, so it's automatically beautiful. What a bunch of crap. She's not even attractive. Look at this. She got tattoos galore. They're not even good tattoos. Some kind of weird fucking alien symbols. Some faceless head on her leg. And hairy legs. And the armpits are hideous. Hideous. I don't understand this look that's supposed to be natural. This ain't natural. I mean, it's natural, but it's not beautiful. What? Natural is beautiful. No, it's really not. Next. Wow, that's the one from the first picture. Yeah. Whew, wow. Damn. I like that rack. I don't like big tits. That's that's a little more than a handful, actually. But it's just that's nice. And you hardly notice the armpit hair when she's that hot. But it's not becoming, sweetheart. Not becoming at all. All right, next. I don't get this. Now, she's a good-looking broad. Nice ass. Nice tits. I don't like the dreadlocks. I don't know what's up with that. And I barely see the armpit hair, honestly. It looks like she's got hair on her legs, though. I thought this was about armpit hair, but it seems like the majority of these babes also have hairy legs. Weird. I mean, they might be popular in like a fucking furry club. You know, those freaks that dress up as animals. I don't even have to buy a lower body to my cat suit. I've already got the hairy legs. Yeah, okay. You won't die of heat stroke when you go to the fucking furry convention because the lower part of your body is exposed. And nobody can tell the difference between that and the top part that's a fucking cat costume covered in fur. Yeah. Congratulations, honey. You are hideous. Hideous. Do not wear dresses. Do not wear skirts. Do not wear any fucking shorts. Excuse me. God, how'd that bug get in here? All right. Next. Ugh. See, this is I barely even see the armpit hair. I just don't like the hair. I don't like the hair on top of her head. What's up with that? Do you know I have naturally curly hair? If I were to let it grow out, it would be like a fucking crow's nest. It's horrid. I mean, I remember I tried to grow my hair long once back in college, and I was like every day just fucking combing to try and get it to stay straight. And it was just, oh my God, it would get knotted, and I had all these split ends and little bits of hair sticking out everywhere because, I put it in a ponytail, but so much got pulled out every day as I was trying to fucking comb this disaster of a hairdo that, it would regrow the pieces that got pulled out. So it was just horrid. So I just decided, okay, I'm cutting it all off. I'm never going to have long hair again. And I look much better. Now this broad, it looks like that's artificial. Do something with that hair, honey. That hair's, but next. She's not even attractive. She's not that attractive, and that underarm hair is hideous. Again, I don't know what you ladies are thinking. Again, this is all about feminism, right? Feminism, the true goal is to keep men and women apart. Well, this is a good way to do it. Good way to do it. With that armpit hair, it holds that musk much better, so you get stinky pits. Yeah, that's real great. Yeah. Oh boy. Ugh. I don't like this one. This one I don't like. Sorry, but no. That's not doing it for me. Not doing it for me at all. Nope. And again, the fucking, what are those? Dreadlocks? I don't know what it is about these women that they think dreadlocks are good looking. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. And she's got a lip ring. Ooh. That's a good-looking broad, huh? I don't even see that fucking armpit hair. She's so attractive. If she don't have hairy legs, it's a go. It's a definite go. Damn. Yeah, that I like. I don't even see... Again, if you're a fucking 9 or a 10, you can get away with this shit to a certain extent, but a lot of these broads ain't that attractive. A lot of these bros don't seem to realize that, yeah, you got some broads out there running around 9s and 10s talking about how natural is beautiful, but these guys that bang you and they don't care about the fucking armpit hair because you're so hot, okay? Not a good-looking broad. You can't pull it off, honey. Sorry. Sorry! What's with the short hair? You know, she's a feminist, a big fucking feminist. Probably a dyke, too. Looks like she might be a dyke. Anytime I see a broad with this kind of fucking bowl haircut, looks like a fucking Franciscan monk out of the fucking 13th century, I'm thinking lesbo, okay? Good-looking broad. The tattoos are a no-go for me. I mean, she'd be good for a pump and dump, you know, but there's nothing there of any real value. If there was, she wouldn't need tattoos as a way to highlight herself and make herself stand out. All right, next. Again, the fucking short-ass feminist haircut that you usually see on the big fat land whales that have 3 different fucking hair colors. And yeah, the armpit hair. Not one of these broads has it in any way, shape, or form accentuated them. And if you notice, the majority of these broads are decent looking. Some of them ain't what I would call great, but none of them are ugly. Now, notice how he's taking pictures of beautiful women. He's not taking pictures of land whales. I mean, if his theory was true, and armpit hair makes you more attractive as a wayman, he would be putting Tess Holliday on here with fucking armpit hair. Look, see? Her hairy pits make her look better. She's a big fat slob, but I've proven my theory. You like her more because she has armpit hair. No. They're putting 8, 9s, and 10s on this fucking thing. No shit, she's attractive. But it ain't the fucking armpit hair that's doing it. All right, next. I get the dreadlocks. I don't like that. She got nice tits. Nice tits. I don't like that armpit hair, though. All right, next. Good-looking broad, but not that good-looking. And the tattoo again. What is with this Viking armband tattoo shit? Yeah, you're a warrior, honey. My ass, you're a fucking warrior. I like the bra, though. And you can tell she's skinny. Yeah, good body, but the armpit hair. She's not good looking enough to pull that off. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Oh, no! Yikes! I'm calling Dyke. I'm calling Dyke on this one. Good Lord. She's got some copious amounts of testosterone flowing through her body. I mean, look at all that armpit hair. It's branching out. It's breeding. It's finding its way under her chest even. Wow. Yeah, she's gay. That's a gay broad. I mean, that is not just a short haircut. That is like, you know, boot camp, if you're a man, high and tight, or a Marine Corps boot camp, high and tight fucking haircut, yeah. And he tattoos all over her fucking chest and arms. The sad thing is, look at her face, she's a good-looking broad. She's a good-looking broad. If she had a woman's hairdo, she could actually get a man. She was probably sexually assaulted or raped or something as a child, never processed the experience, didn't get any psychological help. So now she hates men. Toxic masculinity. I want a munch on Muff. Okay. All right. So, yeah, did those pictures kill the so-called myth of hairy pits making women ugly? It don't help. It don't help. I mean, if you're a good-looking broad, sure, it's not a problem. Well, I mean, you know, it's a problem, but you can get past it, right? If you're with an 8, 9, or 10, I can get past that, honestly. It's not an end-of-the-world type deal, right? But if you're like a big fat Tess Holliday, good luck. You need all the help you get, and armpit hair ain't going to fucking help you. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to something a little more serious, okay? Maiden voyage of my introducing pictures into the live stream. Let's hope it worked and worked well. All right. Now, oh boy, goofy fucking clown world. Oy vey. Ontario passes a law allowing the government to seize children. Okay, oh, that's right, shit. I forgot to open the phone lines. Where There's Skype. There's Skype. So, what do you think? What do you think about this new natural beauty hair phenomenon? Is it true? Is it bullshit? I'm going to leave this line open for 1 minute so you can call in and let me know your thoughts. And the Skype is The Realist Philosopher. So if you use Skype, just type in The Realist Philosopher and contact me. Yeah, that's so bizarre. Yeah. It's very telling, though, that he just picked good-looking broads. It's not the... I love it. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, you got a fetish, pal. You're some skeevy fucking photographer. You've got a fucking fetish. Good for you. Some guys like fatties. Some guys like those ANO broads that make themselves vomit. Or is that bulimics? I don't know. It's the anorexic broads are the ones that don't eat, right? And are the bulimics the ones that, gag themselves to throw up? I don't keep track of the nomenclature of these fucking wacko groups of people. So he's into hairy broads. Okay. So he automatically thinks they're good looking because of the hair, but I don't. They're good looking because they're good looking, not because of the fucking hair. Jesus Christ. All right, so it doesn't look like anybody wants to call into the show to let me know their thoughts on this natural is beautiful bullshit. So I'm going to move on to the next story. But yeah, so this shouldn't be surprising. A country run by a former ski instructor. Oh, and substitute drama teacher. I forgot about that. Well, that makes it okay then. He's a fucking genius because he used to teach people how to act. Yeah, right. I find it hard to believe this guy could even remember his fucking lines if he was an actor at one time. Was he an actor? I mean, I would assume that if you're a drama teacher, you've done a fair amount of acting, but was he ever in anything? Probably not. That's why he's a politician, right? Couldn't get a real job. Not that I would call being a fucking drama teacher all that a real job, but yeah. Oh, and he was a ski instructor in the off-season when he wasn't a substitute teacher teaching people how to lie convincingly. Oh, well, there you go. That's how he's such a good politician. So this is no surprise. Yeah, Ontario passes law that allows the government to take kids away from parents who oppose, get this, gender transitioning for their child. Crazy. It's crazy. Canada's Ontario province has passed legislation that allows the government to seize children from families that refuse to accept their child's chosen gender identity or gender expression. How's that going to work? I mean, what is the kid going to go to school and rat out his parents to the guidance counselor? Hey, Mrs. So-and-so, guidance counselor, my mommy won't let me be a girl, even though I have a penis. Oh, well, we need to get you into foster care. Post haste. Yeah, what? Great. So a bunch of kids are going to rat out their parents. Mommy didn't make me an omelet this morning. I hate her. I'm going to go complain they won't let me be a wingman. This is a great idea. The so-called Supporting Children, Youth, and Families Act of 2017, or Bill 89, was approved by a vote of 63 to 24, according to the Christian Times. It requires child protection, foster, adoption service providers, and judges to take into account and respect the child's race, ancestry, place of origin, color, ethnic origin. These things deserve respect. In what way? Well, what do they mean by respect? What are the courts and all these adoption services and foster care and child protection services, how exactly are they expressing this respect? It's very vague language. I'm always skeptical when I hear language that is this vague. So to respect color, ethnic origin, citizenship, family diversity, I guess gay couples, disability, creed, isn't that covered by race? Sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Let me explain something to you, okay? There's something called the law of identity. If any of you have studied logic, reason, philosophy, you'll know about Aristotle's 3 foundational laws that he discovered anyway. One of them is the law of identity, okay? You are what you are. You can't be anything else, okay? And then, of course, you have the law non-contradiction excluded middle. But if you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl. You can't change what you are and be something else. That's it. It's that fucking simple. It's a recognition that objective reality cannot be changed in that way. It's the identity of something, what it is, cannot be altered to be something else. So, for example, if I try to push on everybody this belief, which the left does, that identity, meaning what you are, can be altered by your subjective perception of yourself, that's a lie. That's a lie. I want you to do a little experiment, okay? And this will give you a good idea of just how much your subjective perceptions can alter reality. I want you to get a cup of water. Go get a cup of cold water and put it in front of you. Then I want you to stare at that cup of cold water for a minute, 10 minutes, an hour, and I want you to focus your mind on making that motherfucking cup of cold water come to a nice, even boil. Ooh, yeah, because, our subjective perceptions and viewpoints can alter objective reality. Right? Right? The day that you're able to make a fucking cup of water boil just by wishing it so is the day that you'll win the fucking James Randi Prize of $1 million for proving that the paranormal is real. And this is the same exact thing. If I believe I'm a woman, I'm a woman. No, you're not. That's the exact same thing as saying I can make a fucking cup of water boil. Has my cock disappeared? No. And the funny thing is, they disprove this very idea when they have to use objective means to achieve what they claim to be a subjective view that alters objective reality, but it can't really alter objective reality, and that's why they got to go and get a fucking surgery, which is an objective tool. You can only alter the objective with the objective, not the subjective, okay? That's why you can't stare at a cup of water and make a fucking boil, and that's why you can't have some belief in your identity and it suddenly changes. It's bullshit! Okay. It requires, so I would consider that a form of child abuse. When a child identifies one way and a caregiver is saying, no, you need to do this differently. You don't, identifying, it doesn't mean anything. You're trying to say that a subjective experience and view alters the objective biological foundational reality of the world, and I'm telling you it can't. You idiots. If it did, you wouldn't be needing to fucking suppress people's puberty and give them fucking hormone blockers, you idiots. Well, it's enough that I identify as a woman. Okay, now give me objective means like hormone blockers and cut off my cock. So, wait a second. You're saying identifying as a woman makes you a woman. So, you are identifying and becoming a woman by subjective means, but you can't actually achieve that goal without the objective. So the subjective changes nothing. You just have some faulty wiring in your fucking head. Which explains why these people have a fucking 40 to 50% fucking suicide rate. But let's indulge this nonsense. Yeah, this non-reality. And when a child identifies one way and a caregiver is saying, no, you need to do this differently. Yeah, right. Because I want to indulge a fantasy. Something that will become a serious mental illness to the point where my child has a 45% chance overall, on average, of killing themselves. Or trying to. And if it's a man, they usually succeed, right? So, I don't want to fucking encourage that. Minister of Family Services said. The man who introduced the bill, Michael Cotoy. Oh, boy. If it's abuse, and if it's within the definition, a child can be removed. The only abuse occurring is allowing some flight of fancy, which was probably brought about by this kid watching TV and seeing some drag kid on TV talking about how wonderful and beautiful and happy he was being a drag kid. Kids are very, very impressionable, so it doesn't take much to get them to adopt a faulty mindset. And it's your job as a caregiver to correct that because you're a lot older, ostensibly. Granted, a lot of dopey young people have kids out of wedlock or too young, and they don't have enough life experience. But ideally, you would be a lot older and you would know this is a lot of nonsense and a lot of bunk. But of course, we have a lot of fucking hipster doofuses out there, hippie fucks, progressive parents who think that they're virtue signaling and that it is actually virtuous to embrace this crap. It ain't. You're harming your kid. That's the child abuse. Encouraging this kind of nonsense. If you're a boy, you're a boy. You can't be a girl. Even if you get your cock chopped off. So the bill replaces the Child and Family Services Act, or Bill 28, which governs child protection, foster care, and adoption services. Wow. So literally telling your child you cannot be a girl if you're a boy is child abuse. Oh. I feel like Kramer, when he would hear something that would just blow his mind, he'd be like, oh. I mean, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? What clown planet are we living on here? We all gonna start driving clown cars and wearing little fucking red noses? Jesus Christ. So the bill states that the parent of a child in care retains the right to direct the child's education and religious upbringing. However, the new law amends it thus: to direct the child or young person's education and upbringing in accordance with the child's or young person's creed. Where the fuck is that creed coming from? The ether? Where's this creed? Essentially, this list of ways to live your life. These life's rules. Where are they coming from? They're supposed to come from the parents. But now, to direct the child or a young person's education and upbringing in accordance with the child or young person's creed. Well, they're not born with a fucking creed. They have to be given it by somebody, you pinheads. So you're saying it's my job to teach a child a creed, and then I can't teach a child a creed if they decide to change their creed to something else, if I think it's wrong. What if their creed is murder and kill people? Oh, what if their creed is eat babies? I can't say anything. That's their creed now. They've changed their mind. They don't like my creed. They've adopted a different creed because they've been hanging out with a wrong crowd, right? They've been hanging out with a bunch of Satanists that fucking sacrifice babies and shit. So I have to respect that. And if I don't respect their creed, that's child abuse. What, are you kidding me? Kids are stupid. I'm smart. You're dumb. You listen to me until you're old enough to think for yourself. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. Well, what is this fucking pandering to stupid kids? I don't get this. Anyway, oh, this is so dumb. I don't even want to read any more of this. So, yeah, now it's child abuse. If your kid has a flight of fancy, thinks he can fly. I think I can fly. I'm going to go jump out the window. Okay, it's child abuse if I stop you. I know it's bad for you, but I'm going to let you do it anyway, because if I don't, I'll go to jail. They send you to foster care. What? Yeah, because kids are so brilliant, right? They always know what's best for them. I want to eat cake and soda pop for fucking breakfast, and you can't stop me because my creed says sugar 24/7. Are you kidding me? Essentially, let's make the fucking kids the parents. Yeah. That's like letting the fucking insane people run the insane asylum. Yeah, that won't end badly. Oh, no. It's just ridiculous. I don't get it. Oh, God. Boy, I really hope you people in Canada have learned your fucking lesson. This guy's coming up for re-election soon. Please vote him out because, it's 2019. Whatever the fuck that means. Yeah. It's the current year, so let's embrace regressive stupid shit. All right, I'm going to move on. It's child abuse to fucking guide my child and parent my child. Yeah, this is yet another attempt by the state to garner ever more power over the child, to make people ever more solipsistic, ever more reliant on their feelings over objective facts, makes them ever better tax chattel and servants to the state. Okay. Let's move on to something a little more lighthearted. That story got my blood pressure going pretty fucking good. gonna fucking tell me how to raise my kid. I'm gonna tell me if my son, if he's 6 or 7 years old and starts putting dresses on and running around the fucking house with a tiara on and a little fucking wand and saying he's a fucking princess. You can tell me, I can't tell him, take that fucking dress off. You're a boy, you're not a girl. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad. You're gonna tell me the Child Protective Services is then gonna come to my house and take my kid? You try, bitches. You try. I'll meet you at the fucking door with a 12-gauge shotgun and a fucking smile, bitches. Tell me how to raise my kid. Fuck you, motherfuckers. This identity politics bullshit has gone too far. Too fucking far. You're going to equate being a homo, being gay with trans? Give me a fucking break, okay? These people have an on-average suicide rate of 45%. And the suicide rate has been proven. Statistically, you've heard of statistics, haven't you? You leftist pinheads, to be higher if you get the reassignment surgery. But it's on average 45 fucking percent. Yeah. And by the way, 80% of these kids, 85% of these kids, 80 to 90% of them, by the time they're 18, they grow out of it. Because the truth of the matter is, the majority of them are being influenced by popular culture and the media and academia, which is pushing these beliefs on them. Of course, you've got all of this anti-male propaganda. And 9 out of 10 of these trans freaks are men wanting to transition to and be waymen, not waymen wanting to be men, because as we all know, the truth of the matter is, there is no benefit or privilege to being a man. It sucks compared to being a woman. So everybody wants to be a fucking woman. All these trans-identifying people want to be waymen because they see all the benefits of being a wayman, and they really don't like all the man hate they're being constantly exposed to and have been exposed to from a very young fucking age. Okay? That's all it is. It's not that you have some woman's fucking brain which has been totally disproven by fucking science. There is no such thing as a woman's... There is no such thing as a guy that's got a wayman's brain, okay? That's the only real social construct. This trans bullshit. And you need to fight it off, stave it off until your kid gets old enough to find an actual identity, get some self-knowledge, understand who they are, and then realize that, yeah, it was just a phase. What you don't do is embrace it, encourage it, shoot them up full of fucking hormone blockers, stop their puberty so that they will never develop fully into an actual man, which is, again, what the state actually wants, right? More weak, pathetic, useful idiots who can't man the fucking walls and keep out the fucking barbarians, right? Who are also useful idiots and employed to the fucking global elites. So let me know what you think of this story. I'm going to open up the phone line real quick. The Skype. Well, not phone line. I mean, you can contact me through Skype via The Realist Philosopher. Again, my Skype name is The Realist Philosopher. You can add me anytime, by the way, as a contact. And you can call into the show, of course, when the show is going on, but only when I open it. So how it works is, once I'm done reading a story, I will open up Skype to get your comments. I don't like to be interrupted while I'm essentially talking about reading a story. It makes sense to open up the phone lines, well, the Skype, after I've done reading the story. But in that, gonna tell me how to, oh boy, tell me how to fucking raise my kid. Man, oh man. Yeah, you Canadians need to vote out Justin Trudeau. You need to vote this fucking guy out. This douchebag that made half of his fucking government female. The proportion of women to men that want to be in the government, it's like 10 to 1. So he had to exclude like 10 times as many men and just pick from a much smaller pool of women, so they can't be as high a quality. It's statistically impossible because the pool of men to draw from was 10, 15, 20 times bigger than the pool of women who wanted to be in government. Oh, I don't want any more men. I don't want any more men. I want women. There's far fewer of them, so, statistically speaking, there's a far smaller pool to draw from, so... just statistically speaking, I'm not going to get as many women that have the required merit. But what do I care? I'm an identitarian. I love identity politics. And I want to pander to the waymen and get their vote. So, yeah, I'm going to make my government all female 50%. I think it's more than 50%, actually. What a fucking pinhead. All right, nobody wants to talk to me about that story where they will snatch your fucking kid in Canada if you tell your kid no dresses if he's a boy, no fucking tiaras, no pink. You're not going to wear a pink shirt. You're not going to wear pink shoes. You're not going to put on ruby fucking slippers and pretend to be in the Wizard of fucking Oz. You're not going to do any of that shit as long as you're my fucking kid. You go ahead, try to take my fucking kid. I'll kill your fucking ass. Take my kid. You see how fucking close you come to taking my... I don't have any kids, by the way, but if I had kids... All right, I'm going to end talking about this story. Ooh, it just gets me so riled up, man. All right, let's move on. So this is a funny story. This will calm down my blood pressure. Women brand a man trash. Oh, excuse me, I misread it. Woman brands men trash. All men. Well, that's great. How many men are getting away with that, by the way? And this is a mainstream media story. I think it's a Mail Online. I never hear these kind of stories taken seriously by the media in regards to men bad-mouthing women. But when women bad-mouth men, yeah, you go, girl. You right on, baby. So she brands men trash after her Tinder match berated her for wearing a quote-unquote awful dress that was not doing her any favors. How is this news? I mean, I thought it was funny. I'm going to talk about it, but I don't understand how this is fucking news. You got people in Sri Lanka by the fucking hundreds, all Christians getting blown up, shot, just because they're Christian by Muslims. No media attention, but this gets into the fucking media. Really? All right. So Thea Lauren Chippendale, 20, from Lincoln, is shocked by the comments. Tinder match George had Brandon. By the way, I'm going to show you this chick's pic. She's 20? I guess when you're overweight, it makes you look older, but god damn. What the fuck? She's 20 years old? I guess because this is the UK, and most UK broads look a lot older because from a very young age, they're drinking ale, they're sucking down booze, so they look 10, 15 years older than they actually are. I saw her picture. I thought she was at least 30, 35. Wait till you see this pic. So Thea Lauren Chippendale was shocked. University of London student was so upset by the messages, she shared them on Twitter. Of course she did. She's a strong, independent woman that needs lots and lots of support from other people. Total strangers, in fact. Yeah, she's so strong. Thousands responded to her. Yeah, giving her a bunch of, you go, girls, and you're stunning, and George is a moron. Of course, right? We all want to wait night for the women. I don't. But it seems like most guys and gals, oh no, you're so wonderful and beautiful. That reminded me of that movie fucking Willow, where you had the old broad that Willow had the fucking shape change, and at one point he accidentally shape changed her into a goat. Willow, you idiot! I think I've had too much caffeine. I'm getting a little fucking loopy here. So, anyway, she shared the screen grab of her conversation with this horrible regressive male to Twitter, along with a picture from her profile wearing a pink lace ASOS dress. What's an ASOS dress? I don't know what that is. I mean, it's certainly an ugly dress. Wait till you see it. But her Tinder match, George, told her, that dress is not doing you any favors. This is how bad society has gotten, by the way, that you're not allowed to criticize women. And if you criticize women, it's going to be a fucking news story on ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC. It's going to be every fucking where. How dare this man step out of line and criticize the women? We need to bash you motherfuckers back down and keep you in control like a game of whack-a-mole. This man's criticizing. Fucking tons of women bashing guys in the fucking head to keep them down and under control. It's not a very hard game of whack-a-mole, though, because not too many men these days are willing to criticize women. You bunch of pussies. Which is part of why we are where we are now. Anyway, over 91,000 people liked her post, and thousands responded, slamming poor old George, with many calling him ignorant and telling him to get in a bin. That's what they call a trash can in the UK. So he's trash because he criticized her dress. Oh my God. Oh, but we live in a patriarchy, right? It's not a matriarchy, no. Yeah, Thea's Tinder match, George, may not have been impressed by the dress, but thousands of people on Twitter told her she looked stunning. Having matched on Tinder with Thea, the first message George sent her was not the polite introduction she was hoping for. Yeah, I give George 2 thumbs up, baby, for trolling this fat broad. Not gonna lie, you're a bit of a joke, but that dress in the last photo is not doing you any favors. Let's check this broad out. Okay. Okay, what is that? Where is she? What is that, a fucking hotel room? What? Is she in a hotel? Oh, my God. What, is that after her last booty call hookup? I mean, you're in the UK. Why would you be needing to stay in a hotel? There aren't too many calls to stay places overnight, right? I mean, you can drive through the whole goddamn country in, 3-4 hours? I'm in North London, or I'm in the north of the country. How long can you get down here to London? 2 hours? It's not a big country, okay? It's a little bigger than that, but not by that much. So she's in a hotel room. That's a hotel room. See the thing hanging on the door? It's probably after her last hookup. That's probably the last guy she hooked up with, taking a picture of her. Yikes. That's a hideous dress. Hideous. She looks dumpy. I agree with George. That's not a good picture. I mean, the face, she's got the good-looking face and then the fat body. You seen that? It's like that Tess Holliday is like, I'm beautiful. I'll give you this, honey. Your face is okay, but it's starting to get a little bloated, right? It's an interesting thing with women. So many of them, they can get this big, fat Michelin Man body, but they got this tiny little Beetlejuice head. Have you ever seen that? You ever seen that movie, Beetlejuice? I'm the ghost with the most, babe. He goes into the fucking waiting room in heaven, or, the in-between place he was in, and he sits down, and, he gets this long number. It's like billions and billions, and he looks up at the serving number whatever counter, and it's just like number 3. And he looks at his little paper. It's like 3,800,000,000. He's like, oh. And then the guy sitting beside him is a fucking witch doctor, but he's got the number 4, so he takes the guy's number, and the guy sprinkles some shit on his head and shrinks his head down to the size of a peanut, but he's still got a normal-sized body. That's what these fat broads are like. Got these little tiny fucking pinheads on top of this gigantic body. It's not a good look. Ugh. George was right. Sorry, sweetheart. I have to side with George. But again, I have to ask the question, how is this news? I really don't get how this is news. Again, people are dying in Sri Lanka by the hundreds. It's going to be in the thousands soon. And just because they're Christian. But nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody on the left anyway. Meanwhile, this broad getting criticized. Big news. Ridiculous. Excuse me. I got really bad allergies. And nothing you can do about it. Well, there is something I can do. I can pour myself another cup of coffee. Yeah. Oh, shit. I put too much water in the fucking coffee. God damn it. There's still some left in the thermos. Oh, well. All right. Let's move on, shall we? All right. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is at it again. Oh, boy. This story has got me. I don't know if I can make it through this last story. Do I have the energy? Well, I'll soldier on. I'll soldier on because I'm a man. I'm a man. And unlike these pathetic Waymen out there, I'm actually a tough fucking guy, so I'll survive. I'll survive, ladies. You won't, without me anyway, and other men to pay your way. But, all right. Cortez says white people are racist because they all inherit houses from their parents. I didn't inherit a house from my parents. I didn't inherit jack shit from my parents. They never gave me a goddamn thing except food. That was it. They ignored my ass entirely. I didn't exist. I was an uncomfortable fucking afterthought. Oh, but all white people inherit houses. What planet is she living on? I wish. I wish I'd inherited a fucking house. That'd be great. Oh, my God. So Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made the case Saturday that her Green New Deal, a Green New Deal again? Bitch, $100 trillion? That's the GDP of the whole goddamn planet and then some. Yeah, we're going to spend the entire GDP of the whole goddamn planet. Money we don't have, by the way. And in debt like 2,000 generations of fucking Americans. Just to make a quick transition that's not going to make any real difference because, we're just a small percentage of the population's energy output. Yeah, let's do that. Made the case that her Green New Deal would address wealth inequalities caused by systematic racism. What the fuck does that have to do with the fucking global temperature, climate, or anything? Nothing. The freshman Democrat from New York sought to portray her sweeping proposal for environmental and social justice as more race-conscious than the original New Deal. Oh, she's revised it, has she? Oh, I'd love to see this thing. A lot of people don't know this story of the New Deal. Oh, geez. Oh, the original New Deal. Oh, FDR. I know all about the New Deal, okay, honey? We have that to thank for all this welfare bullshit we got going on now, which didn't help people get out of poverty. It just enabled them to stay poor and pathetic and useless. A lot of people don't know the story of the New Deal. I do, bitch. A lot of people don't know that redlining is, she said, referring to the federal government's one-time refusal to insure mortgages in black neighborhoods. By the way, the government should in no way, shape, or form be insuring anything. Life is a risk. Life is a gamble. The fucking government should in no way, shape, or form be insuring your fucking property. But of course, she's a socialist, so there should be no private property. Government owns it all, which is what happens with socialism. Ocasio-Cortez went on to argue that a lack of understanding of the policies. I love this broad's talking about a lack of understanding. This same dopey idiot that thought that fucking Amazon was going to be getting $3 billion. No, it's a tax break, you idiot. Oh, boy. Yeah. I don't want him to get $3 billion in tax breaks, and I'm willing to lose $27 billion over 10 years to make sure they don't get a break in taxes. Because I'm stupid enough to think it's me giving them money and New York giving them money instead of them getting the tax break. Yeah, I love when somebody this dumb talks about other people not understanding stuff. Oh, God. So I think that people don't understand the policies behind white wealth and how white wealth helps to promote racism against African Americans and other minorities. What are you talking about? This is a claim. So generally speaking, and it's a very vague claim too, she doesn't outline specifically what aspects of white wealth impact in a racist way Africans and minorities. Of course, she's not going to get into specifics. She's going to stay as vague as possible, because if, you're able to pin her down, then you could offer counter-arguments and shred her ass to pieces, which is, by the way, why she'll never, ever appear on a conservative broadcast. She'll only appear on something like Bill Maher or some other show that throws her fucking softballs and kisses her ass. When people are not educated about the tools and the systems that created racial wealth. Racial wealth? Really? So wealth is now attached to a race. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of wealthy black people out there, you dumb bitch. They created the racial wealth gap, disparities, or other wealth gap disparities. I got more teeth than some people. I got less than some other people. There's a disparity in the number of teeth in my mouth. It's unequal. The amount of teeth I have, it's not equal with somebody who has more teeth. They should give me their teeth. What is she talking about? Is there such a thing as racial teeth? Well, white people have more teeth on average than black people. Oh, she's so stupid. So fucking stupid. Yeah, there's no element of personal individual choice involved in wealth creation. No. It's all race. Oh, man. I love it. So she goes on to say, yes, if people aren't educated on how these disparities come about, well, you haven't told us how, by the way, you create this gaping maw in which someone can tell a racist story. Like you? That kind of tells people why a certain community is poor. Like you. You're doing exactly what you're accusing other people of doing. You're just saying that their reasons are wrong and yours are right. Which is really what the left does, right? That's what postmodernists do. She's a postmodernist, okay? Oh, shit. Fuck. Sometimes I hit this goddamn microphone. I get animated. And she's a postmodernist. Oh, but postmodernism is, when you get right down to it, about power dynamics. Who's in power? Who's in charge? They're telling you a story about how people are poor. So I'm going to tell you another story about how people are poor. Them telling you a story is wrong. Me telling you a story is right, because my story is correct and their story is wrong. And you can listen to my story more because my story absolves you of personal responsibility. They're poor because they're lazy. Here she's trying to quote people on the right and make it sound like they're, she's essentially promoting what is a trope, what is bullshit. People that, by the way, some people are poor because they're lazy. They are poor because they're uneducated. Why are they uneducated? Because they made bad choices? By the way, education really plays very little part in wealth creation. A lot of the richest people were school dropouts. So, no, education doesn't really play a huge part in being wealthy. It doesn't hurt, but, if you look at some of the wealthiest people in the world, they would have been wealthy regardless of what kind of education they got in most cases. They're poor because this, they're poor because that. Ocasio-Cortez continued mimicking a racist. Oh, is that what she's doing? Even though everything she said and, done is pretty racist. Where no one says they're poor because they're redlining and everybody else inherited a house except for people of color. Why didn't they inherit houses? Could somebody tell me that? Could it be because their parents made bad choices? I love how she tries to make it sound like inheriting a house is a bad thing, by the way. You have an unfair advantage now because your mommy and daddy gave you a house. So let's just take the house when they die, and that'll equalize things because, I'm not really for equality of opportunity. I'm for equality of outcome because, I'm a Marxist, but I'll never use that term. Yeah. Okay, sweetheart, sure. Ocasio-Cortez goes on to say, I've got no house. And Ocasio-Cortez's interviewer says, yeah, I've got no house either. Exactly, Ocasio-Cortez agreed. Sweetheart, okay, where was she living, in New York? You were a bartender, or you were working in some kind of fucking taco house / bar, making burritos and fucking Bloody Marys. Yeah, you're not going to own a fucking house. What's a brownstone in New York cost? A small brownstone. $1 million? Yeah, you don't own a house. You're a moron. You went to school. You didn't study. You studied economics and you don't know anything about economics. No shit, you don't have a house. Moron. You don't have a house because you're a fucking idiot who made bad choices, not because you're a woman of color. What color is she? I'm darker than she is, bitch. I'm darker than you, bitch. I'm a man of color, too. I'm a white guy with a tan, and I'm still darker than you. Stupid broad. Woman of color, please. So the congresswoman ostensibly does not actually believe that all white people inherit homes. So what are you talking about it for? But sought to illustrate the fact that white Americans hold much more wealth on average than blacks, right? And see, your mistake is you assume it's because racism. You have no evidence for that. You just assume it because you've been taught that, and you're an ideologue, right? You have this ideological framework in your head that gives you all these beliefs that are automatically true and they're never challenged, and you never put yourself in a situation where you ever will be challenged, and even if you were challenged, you would just, dismiss you like a fly. I'm always right, and you're always wrong. Yeah. So, she believes white Americans hold much more wealth than blacks, in part because of higher rates of home ownership. Okay, let me say this. First of all, most of those homes were not inherited from their parents. Most people don't inherit houses from their fucking parents, and oftentimes, even if they did inherit a house from their parents, the house would still be having a fucking mortgage, so it wouldn't be paid off yet. And even if it was paid off, so the fuck what? You got property taxes every year. It's almost as expensive to pay property taxes on a house, depending on where you live, as it would be to pay rent on a fucking apartment. Oh, yeah, people have a home. They're going to have all this spare cash on hand. Where did she get this idea? Again, she knows nothing about economics, nothing about financing. And by the way, yeah, if you have a loan, a house, it can allow you to get a loan because you have collateral, right? That is if it already isn't fucking mortgaged out that fucking yin-yang. Then maybe you could get a loan on that house and maybe use that money to open a business. But you're on the hook for that loan. And you're bearing a lot of fucking risk when you do that. And if you fail, if your business fails, if whatever venture you were going to start off, that we're going to use that money borrowed against that house that you fucking inherited from mommy and daddy, if that business venture fails, you're on the fucking hook. And if it succeeds, well, you took a lot of risks. And you succeeded, and you deserve to succeed. Because you made the right choices. And if it fails, you made the wrong fucking choices. But of course, she only talks about the success stories because she's pushing a narrative, right? Idiot. This just plays into this fucking trope that all wealth is inherited, right? Wealth isn't created, it's just shuffled around like a mahjong game. The number of pieces never changes, they're just shuffled back and forth and redistributed. That's why inheritance is so bad, and we should have 100% inheritance tax. And she believes that, by the way. What a moron. What a fucking moron. Wrong. More than 2/3 of all wealth is not inherited. It's created. Something, she doesn't know. She doesn't know that. Yeah, but let's take everybody's money when they die, right? Let's take their houses. Let's take everything. All she's doing is pushing the zero-sum game fallacy, this faulty logic in the form of this every white person inherits a house trope, and that's why they have more wealth. You want to know why white people have more wealth, sweetheart? Because on average, we make better choices. Because if you were a race realist and you did any fucking research and knew anything about biology, you would know that on average, white people have 1 standard deviation higher IQ. That equates to better impulse control. It equates to better decision making. It equates to a visualization of the possible consequences of bad actions and thereby you not making those bad choices. So, yeah, we make better choices. Save more, make better choices. You're going to have more wealth that you can then pass down to your kids. But that's less than 1/3 of all wealth is inherited. And the vast majority of people who inherit wealth, most of them end up right back where they were within 5 years or something of inheriting that wealth. So it's crazy to me that she has these dumb ideas. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I mean, all she really wants to do is, stoke racial hatred, create animus between the races, and then essentially use that to get votes. Lie to black and brown people. Why don't you, honey? So her comments ignored that a plurality of Americans are poor. White Americans, most of them are poor. A lot of them are. They're not rich. They were also in keeping with her history of fudging facts, often in service of identity politics. Gray had earlier in the conversation that the interviewer asked Ocasio-Cortez about what she said is an emerging consensus that it is impossible to address economic inequality without creating special programs for minorities. Isn't that what we've been doing now for 60 years? How's that working out? All this welfare hasn't done any good. I mean, it's put us in debt. The amount that we've spent on welfare programs is almost the exact same amount of our debt, of our national debt in America. Something like $22 trillion. If we didn't have all these welfare programs, we wouldn't have all that debt. Oh, boy. So, here she goes on to say, Ocasio-Cortez responded that the country should seek to transcend race rather than focusing on racism. All she does is talk about race. Everything about this woman is race, and then she says we shouldn't talk about race. You first, sweetheart. You first. This is amazing to me. She's an identitarian. Identity politics is how she got into office and will stay in office. And she's telling people not to talk about race. This is why the intersectional frontline community aspect of the Green New Deal is so important. Because it allows indigenous communities to lead, black and brown communities to have a certain self-determination. Right, because black people, they can't decide for themselves. They're held hostage. They're slaves to the system. They have no autonomy, right? They have no accountability. They're not responsible for their actions. What a lovely world. What a lovely fucking world. You can be a loser and then blame everybody else except yourself. Yeah. She goes on to say, we fixed the pipes in Flint first. Oh, God. We cleaned the air in the Bronx first. Yeah, because people are mutating and got two heads in the Bronx, right? We rebuild the electrical grids in Puerto Rico, she said, pausing before adding, and we fully fund the pensions of coal miners in West Virginia at the same time. How you going to pay for this, sweetheart? How you going to fucking pay for this? I'm just going to print money ad infinitum. Isn't that like stealing? So, you're just counterfeiting. So I'm going to just print all this fucking monopoly money and you use it to pay for all this shit, drive up inflation to the point where the money's worth nothing. I got the shit, which is essentially like stealing. Oh, yeah. But now, the money's not worth anything anymore. And then I crashed the fucking economy. And then we're living in fucking Mad Max. And everybody's solving their problems by going to the Thunderdome and looking to Auntie to help them achieve justice. Yeah, what an idiot. By the way, if you haven't seen those movies, they were great. Not necessarily the first one with Mel Gibson, but Mad Max 2 and Mad Max 3 were excellent movies. Anyway, that's the kind of world you're going to get if this broad gets into power, by the way. Oh, man. So Ocasio-Cortez goes on to echo President Trump's 2016 campaign rhetoric, and she essentially argued that she wants to make America great again. This is what we've always been, she says. What have we always been, socialist? It's just that now we've strayed so far away from what has really made us powerful and just and good and equitable. Well, equitable and productive, she said. Okay, so the word equitable is a buzzword, okay? And what it really means is equality of outcome. Yeah. We all have to end up in the same place. Yeah, equally miserable. We can't get ahead unless all of us get ahead at the same speed and end up in the same place at the same time. No one should have an advantage over anyone else. That's not fair. I got news for you, sweetheart. Life ain't fucking fair, okay? Didn't somebody tell this broad that life ain't fair growing up? Okay? You're going to have winners and you're going to have losers, okay? I can't be a loser, and if I lose, it's somebody else's fault. She goes on to say, and so I think all of these things sound radical that I'm talking about compared to where we are. But where we are is not a good thing. Yeah, and where we are, by the way, can you define where we are? And then say why where we are isn't good? Could you give me some specifics? Oh, no. She can't do that. Of course. Of course not. She goes on to say, and this idea of like 10% better from garbage shouldn't be what we settle for. Okay, first of all, the reason America is where it is now is because of the identity politics that you're pushing, because of the socialism that you're pushing, because of the welfare programs that you're pushing, because of the progressive, tolerant, diversity bullshit, open borders nonsense that you are fucking pushing just so you can get votes. Well, that's why we are where we are now. This 10% away or 10% better than garbage, which is what you say America is, that's because of you and other Marxists like you, you pinhead. All right. I love how she just makes claims, by the way, as if they're just facts. You know, she speaks with absolute authority. We're 10% better than garbage. We used to be better. She hopes you'll forget that she never actually proved any of her claims. She never gave you one argument. She just makes claims. She doesn't back them up with any evidence whatsoever. See, this is another leftist trick. She goes on to say, however, unlike Trump, who has mocked the Green New Deal, I've mocked it too, sweetheart. It's eminently mockable. Ocasio-Cortez argued that America needs to return to a more socialist system. Because capitalism is irredeemable. She's referring to back, during the FDR times in the 40s and 50s when the rich supposedly had a top tax rate of like 91% or something, which was never true. Was never fucking true. There were tons of so-called loopholes. There was no rich person back then that paid that much. The most they paid was something like 45, 46%. Not even that, like 43 or something. Because all these fucking exemptions and shit that they could claim and so-called loopholes, nobody paid a 91%. And the truth of the matter is that people back then, the top rate that they paid was about the same as the top rate they're paying now. And she wants that to be higher. So if she actually raised the top rate above what it is now, we would actually have people paying more taxes than they did during the so-called socialist utopia that Ocasio-Cortez thinks we need to return to, but she's too stupid to realize we're already there, and she just wants us to go even further than FDR did. She's so dumb. But I majored in economics. Yeah, right. So she goes on to say, capitalism is an ideology of capital. It's not an ideology. I know you think everything is an ideology, you dumb bitch, but it ain't an ideology. Capitalism is freedom. I have a video on my channel, by the way. I was supposed to make a part 2. I didn't get to it. Eventually, I will. Talking about capitalism. You should go check it out. Capitalism is nothing more than freedom, okay? She goes on to say, the most important thing is the concentration under capitalism of capital and to seek and maximize profit, she said. And that comes at any cost. What does that mean? It comes at any cost. What does that mean? What cost? What actions are you talking about that cause the at any cost scenario you're talking about? What cost? I don't... Again, vague, no details, nothing specific. All this is critical theory. Just criticize capitalism. That's all critical theory does. It just makes criticisms and compares capitalism to some kind of utopian world, heaven on earth that's never fucking existed. No arguments, no facts, no specifics. So although Ocasio-Cortez said that some aspects of capitalism are okay, yeah, the parts that allow so much money, so much wealth to be created that you can steal that wealth and then give it away to fucking get votes. Yeah, could you tell us what aspects, by the way? No, she can't tell us what aspects. She didn't go into any fucking details. So no details. Nobody's ever challenged her on this stuff. She went on to explain that her brand of democratic socialism is all about putting people above profit. I love this pejoratization of fucking profit. Like profit is somehow an evil fucking thing. Why? Why is profit evil? Why is profit bad? And why is profit somehow separate from people? Profit has nothing to do with people. Profit is just evil. We need to focus on the people. Well, how do we focus on the people? By making more profit. Does she understand that? I mean, I don't know what it means when she says put people above profit. I mean, what is there about a business that does not put people first? It gives people jobs. It provides products for people. It pays taxes to the government, which that government then uses to buy votes from the dopey hicks that voted for this broad. And I reject her initial premise. Her putting forward the idea of fucking profit is some kind of evil thing. And what does she mean when she says put people first? Put people first how? Could you give me some specifics? What do you mean when you say put people first? Can you give me some specific details about what you mean? No. Just buzzwords. Just socialist critical theory buzzwords. I love how she puts this idea out there. The capital is some kind of thing. It's some kind of thinking thing. It has things it values over other things. Like it's some kind of ideology. And it's an ideology. Not only is it an ideology, it's a thinking thing, right? Because she thinks of everything in terms of collectives. And in her mind, collectives all have some kind of collective Borg hive fucking mind. No details. By the way, so she says that capitalism puts profit first. What she's saying is that it puts people last. How? Can you tell me how it puts people last? Seems to me businesses are all about putting people first. They're made of people. People create them. They're made up by people. I mean, they create jobs. They create money. Does she understand what profit is? No, she doesn't know what profit is. Doesn't know what fucking profit is. No fucking clue. You need profit. If you got a fucking company, I open a business. But I don't have the funds because it's a huge undertaking. So I get a lot of fucking investors. Those people invest in that company and they expect to get a return on their motherfucking investment. And they should because they're part owners in the company. And I have to hire a bunch of workers, and I myself am a worker too, despite the wonderful, lovely, fucking divisive language of Marxism that tries to separate people into classes to make them clash against each other and see each other as different and the evil other. But the truth of the matter is that even if I'm an executive, I'm a worker, and I'm working a lot more hours and, generally speaking, producing a lot more value than some worker putting together fucking iPhones, okay? And so I get all these people together, I get this wealth together, I get these investors, I build a company, I make a company, I produce a product, and then what? I got the initial investment. We get more business. We start to sell more product. How am I going to expand? How am I going to upgrade my infrastructure? How am I going to maintain the current infrastructure I have? How am I going to market the product? How am I going to do all of these things? And what if I have a bad year? And sales go down? How am I going to survive? Profit. Oh, you can't have profit. Well, then the business won't last because I have no capital coming in to allow the business to grow, to get through tough times. People don't understand that the profit that is generated, that little extra amount that is generated by the so-called worker because the evil executive isn't working, well, that little amount of profit that's created above and beyond the base amount of wealth that he's creating to pay his salary, that profit that he should also be getting, that's him paying his lease to the fucking company. He is paying for the privilege to use their equipment, to use their facilities, to create the wealth that he is getting, okay? That's a privilege, and it's a privilege he has to pay for. It's like saying, I should be able to move into a house. I don't own it, but I shouldn't have to pay rent. It's not your house. Oh, well, what? So you as a worker should be able to come into my business, use my computers, use my equipment, use my... This is so interesting to me. What about the materials? You should be able to come in, use the materials that I have to purchase that go into making the phone. You should be able to use all the equipment that's there to create that phone. You should be able to use all the facilities that I've paid for, that I have risked my ass by investing all this capital into, and that I own. And you should be able to use it to generate money, salary for yourself, but I don't get anything. What? And what I'm getting, by the way, is called profit. And that profit allows me to continue to provide you with a place to work, equipment to use, materials to use with that equipment to create the fucking product. It allows me to fucking market the product and sell more of it. It allows me to expand and then hire even more fucking workers. It allows me to stay fucking competitive when my fucking competition, my rivals, create an even better product, and then I have to get the R&D department to scramble, and work fucking overtime to make an even better product so I can compete with them. Oh no! All these fucking facts, all this stuff that is required in a part of profit, which is not only necessary but right. Because I don't think anybody would argue, well, socialists would argue because they don't want to believe in, nor do they believe in private property. But I don't think anybody that was rational and reasonable would argue that if you're going to go in and use somebody's shit to make money for yourself and it's not your shit, you should have to pay them something for that privilege. And that's the profit. And that's something that people don't get. And that's certainly something that Ocasio-Cortez doesn't get. This bitch that doesn't want to believe in private property. No wonder she don't own a house. All right. Let's see here. So let me find where I left off. Anyway, she likes to keep things abstract and ambiguous, doesn't she? This is so that you can't call her to task on anything because she doesn't really, she's kind of like a slippery fucking eel, right? You know, when you think you've tied her down, wiggles out and moves the goalposts and moves on to some other bullshit. Doesn't really give you anything specific enough to enable you to attack her on it or give a very good productive counter argument. And even if she does, she'll just ignore you. I dismiss you. So she goes on to say, we are reckoning with the consequences of putting profit above everything else in society. Idiot. Moron. Profit is what allows a company to create ever more jobs and be ever more productive. And it's the jobs, the productive capability that enriches a fucking nation. You moron. I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, profit is for the people. It benefits the people most. Without profit, by the way, without profit, there'd be no business. There'd be no infrastructure. There'd be no innovation. There'd be no growth, no upgrading, no ability to change or adapt that business, no ability to compete with your rivals. You would quickly be out of fucking business without profit, you moron. Let alone the profit motive. Nobody would open a fucking business. You dummy. She's so dumb. How did she major in economics? This is a lie. I don't believe it. Or if she did, her professors were even bigger morons than she is. If that's possible. 85 IQ professors, I think. Okay. Anyway, it's just lots of commie rhetoric that doesn't really mean anything. And she goes on to say, and what that means is people can't afford to live. If somebody can't afford to live, that means they made bad life choices, okay? I'm sorry, but if people can't afford to live in America, it means they made bad motherfucking life choices. Had a baby out of wedlock, had a baby too young, didn't pay attention in school. I mean, didn't focus on learning a skill that was useful and marketable. Studied fucking gender studies in university. Yeah, they're so oppressed. They're so oppressed that they can almost automatically, especially if they're black and minority, they have a much better chance of getting a fucking loan. If you're black or Latino or something, you're almost guaranteed to be able to get money to go to college, okay? If you go to university and study something useful and make good choices in your life, you will be able to make a living. It's very interesting. 4 out of 5 people who are very poor, okay, within their lifetime, they will make it into the top 20%. 4 out of fucking 5. Very different from the rhetoric, the propaganda, the bullshit that this bitch is spreading. There's huge economic mobility in America. Oh, but she wants you to believe that you're oppressed. But she'll help you escape that oppression, if you vote for her, of course. And she's willing to give you free shit. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, people can't afford to live, she says. For me, it's a question of priorities. And right now, I don't think our model is sustainable. Why not? What's threatening the sustainability of what is essentially the freedom to do what you want to do with your own property? Because that's all capital is. The freedom to choose. I don't like freedom. Too much responsibility. I want to saddle other people with responsibility. For me. So she went on to dismiss conservative concerns about her vaguely defined left-wing ideology. Didn't I just say? Of course she does. She's just dismissive because she's an arrogant cunt. She goes on to say, it's just fear-mongering about a government takeover of the economy. You're talking about the Green New Deal, talking about sacrificing our freedoms and giving up pretty much everything we have to rebuild every goddamn building, to totally reconstruct and replace every power grid in America with some kind of sustainable natural energy source that doesn't exist. And it would require giving the government way more power than it already has, to the point where they would control the economy, really. But it's fear-mongering to say that that's what's going to happen when that's what you're fucking pushing. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. She goes on to say, we should be scared right now because corporations have taken over our government. So her answer is to give the government more power. By the way, how have corporations taken over the government? You want to know how? Because the government's too powerful. It's too big. Yeah. Government's too big. Government's too powerful. Of course they've been able to take over, you dummy. I love it. If the government was real small, these corporations wouldn't have the kind of power to influence policy that they do. So what's her fucking response? Give the government more power. Yeah, that's that very thing that caused the problem. I want to even make it even bigger and create even bigger problem. Give the government even more power, which will then enable corporations to have even more power than they already do. Wow. Where did you go to school, Ocasio-Cortez? Did you get your education off the back of a fucking Cracker Jack box? Unbelievable. Wow, I've went on way longer than I meant to. Man. I'm going to cut it off here and open up Skype. Maybe somebody out there wants to let me know what you think of this fucking airhead socialist moron that is Ocasio-Cortez. I don't know. So Skype is open. You can Skype me at The Realist Philosopher. My Skype name is The Realist Philosopher. Yeah. These socialists get me so animated. They get me so pissed off. I'm a very firm believer in taking personal accountability, in being responsible for yourself and your own actions. And socialists are all about abdicating responsibility, laying it off on somebody else. My life, I don't like how it's turned out. So you know who I'm going to blame? Oh, not myself. I'm going to blame you, and I'm going to blame you, and I'm going to blame everybody else except myself. That's socialism in a nutshell, right? Nothing's ever my fault. It's always somebody else's fault, not mine. Yeah, I studied lesbian dance theory or fucking race studies, joined La Raza or some shit. Didn't spend very much time studying, and, I took a lot of classes in feminism. Oh, excuse me, gender studies. Yeah, like it's really about men in any way that's good or positive, right? And yeah, I did all that, but it's not my fault that I can't find a job outside of working at McDonald's, dunking fries into a vat of hot oil. And now I'm demanding that they raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour because I can't afford to live. Maybe you'd be able to afford to live if you were a little more conscientious about your fucking money and how you spent it. And maybe you should have studied something useful in university. Or maybe you could have went to Votech when you were in fucking high school and learned how to fix cars or be a plumber or some shit. Probably don't have Votech anymore. Public schools don't teach anything useful anymore. Plumbers can make a lot of money, by the way. Snaking out fucking drains full of crap can pay pretty good because nobody wants to do it. Yet another lesson in economics that Ocasio-Cortez wouldn't fucking understand. All right, I'm going to cut the show off here. It's been going on long enough. I've ranted enough about Ocasio-Cortez and her stupid socialist ideas. So, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and post some comments in the comments section. I'm sure you might have something to say about this particular live stream. I'm also on DLive. Please check that link out in the description of this video. I'm trying to migrate as many people from YouTube and other platforms onto DLive as possible. Go to DLive and check out The Realist. I would have put Realist Philosopher, but they only allow 20 characters, and Realist Philosopher slightly longer. So I just call myself The Realist on DLive. Go there. Follow me on DLive. It's also a great place. PewDiePie live streams there now. It also has a donation platform. I'm not able to monetize my channel on YouTube. I'm too controversial, meaning honest. So, yeah, you can make one-time donations there. It's very easy. You just sign up, and then you use PayPal or whatever to buy some crypto coins. It's very interesting. They have their own crypto coin. You buy it, and then you can dole the crypto coins out. It's totally anonymous. And you can dole them out to whoever you like in the form of lemons and ice creams and shit. They have various identifiers for each denomination of coin. Like I think a lemon is 1, and a fucking ice cream's 10, and then 100 is a diamond. And, I think that 1 lemon is like, 90 cents or something. I'm not sure exactly. But, yeah, if you don't want to have to make monthly donations, if you just want to make an occasional one-time because you like one of my broadcasts, go on DLive, buy some of their Bitcoin, and you can dole me out a little fucking lemon or an ice cream occasionally if you like my broadcast. If you'd like to support me, on a more long-term level, visit therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. I have 2 Patreons. You might think that's one more than is necessary. But they're both a little different. The first Patreon, which is a monthly platform, you can go there, you can donate $1 a month, that's it. The other is a per piece Patreon. So say you want to donate 50 cents. I post 3 videos, well, not videos, I post 3 audio pieces a week to that Patreon. And so if you were to donate 50 cents, it would be like per podcast. So 50, 50, 50 would be like $1.50 a week. So you could donate a quarter, 50 cents, a dollar, and I make 12 of those pieces a month. So even if you just donated 50 cents, that'd be like only $6 a month. So you have those two options as well as the DLive option if you want to sign up and follow me there. And also it might be a good idea to go on DLive because YouTube needs some competition. And it looks like if enough people go there, it could be some pretty good competition for YouTube. Also, follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook as Magus Reason. I'm on Twitter as The Realist 1967. I'm on Gab as The Realist Philosopher. And Instagram as well as, you guessed it, The Realist Philosopher. All right. I'm going to head out now. Thanks for watching. And again, like, subscribe, post your comments. I am The Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.